So really what I wanted to talk about more is guarding your audiovisual spend. What I feel, being in this business a very long time, is that the price value relationship has deteriorated over the years. So the prices have gone up. You're paying a lot more for audiovisual than you did, in the past. And the challenge with that is the product that you're getting isn't in relationship to the price you're paying. So that's something that we feel should change, right? You should be able to pay a fair price, but you should also have a great value. And that experience that you get when you're at the venue, when you're in your event, should be something that's spectacular. At Clarity, we call it remarkable. We like to make our events a remarkable place to be for the attendees, for the meeting planners, for the presenters, and even for the hotel contacts that we have and the other partners that we work with. We really want to make that event remarkable. We want to bring the fun back to audiovisual and make it something you enjoy working on rather than something that you dread working on, or you're afraid you're going to get price gouged, or you're afraid that a lot of your budget's going to be sucked up on the AV side. What we like to do is we like to say, hey, let's bring the fun back. Let's make this a great experience. Let's have a great time, and let's make sure that when you leave, the value you have for the spend that you had was remarkable. So what we've learned also is that the spend that you have has a great impact on the event. What you want to do is you want to take a look at how much you're spending on the audiovisual side, and what is the AV impact you need for your audience. So for example, what's your audience there for? Are they there for a sales rally? Are they there for a management meeting? Are they there to learn? Is it an education session? Are they there to share ideas? Like, what's the purpose of the event, and why are the attendees there? And then make sure your AV spend is impacting that overall experience. And so what we like to do at Clarity is make sure that if we're putting money into part of the production, it's having a big impact for you and for the attendees. And so when you look at your company, you look at your experience you're having now, how do you feel about it, right? If you look on the right side of the screen there, do you feel that the price you're paying is kind of getting the value that you're getting? Do you feel that the price is way higher and outweighing the value? Or do you feel that the value is awesome and the price you're getting is great? So if, think through that with your AV spend. Bring the AV spend really to a higher part of your overall discussion when you think about your events. And then also, one of the things we've experienced recently is the need to get multiple proposals and kind of understand, what is out there in the market. And that's great to do. A lot of our long-term 10+ year customers, are required to get bids from different providers. What we've learned in working through them with that is that apples aren't oranges. So when you get the quotes, you try to line them up. I got, the same number of operators. I got the same labor. I got the same equipment. What's different then? Did I really get a great comparison between, those two providers? And the truth is you probably didn't. And that's because the equipment doesn't make up the experience. What makes up the experience is how that company puts that show together, how those operators and how those engineers use that equipment, how the cues happen, how the room feels. So unfortunately, just getting and lining up your AV quotes isn't going to give you the ability to get an apples to apples comparison. So it's going to take a little more effort, a little more homework. So you may ask, how can you get a good comparison between what's out there? And what we've learned is that you need to get to know the companies. So rather than looking for 8 or 10 companies to put in a bid, narrow that down to a couple, and then spend time with them. Invite them to talk with you about their company. Allow them to meet with you in person and share with you kind of what they do. Go to one of their events, meet one of their customers, kind of get that firsthand experience, because you're never going to get a great comparison when you're just comparing what's on the bid template or what's on the quote or what the line item AV equipment is. So it's really all about what happens on that event, the magic that happens, the experience that happens, and that's something that Clarity very, very much focuses on. And we're bringing that back to the AV industry and bringing that excitement and fun back to all of your events and to your planners. So the other challenge that we face when you talk about your overall AV spend is protecting that, but also not being so concerned that you're afraid to make a change. It is a very, very important part of your event, the overall experience that you have in regards to putting on a fantastic event. It's a live event and you have a one-time opportunity to make it go well. So there's often a lot of concern about making a change or using another provider. What we want to let you know is that it is okay to consider using another provider. And if you talk with them ahead of time and you put the work in, you can feel very confident about making that change and increasing your overall experience. If you like, we have plenty of customers who would love to talk you through that with you and give you an example of their fear of change that they had. And then when they selected, Clarity as an example, they were able to really have an experience they didn't expect. And so we hope that you look at your overall AV spend, your overall AV experience. Unfortunately, there's a lot of challenges out there. Some companies aren't that great. Other companies are fantastic. And it's really you to navigate those waters, really find that great partner for your events.